Welcome to the third installment of this series, Regrets of a Failed Marriage. Let's think about a creator or someone who designs a product. As a creator considers what they are working on, there's something that is specific to this design. There's something specific to this product they're working on that is supposed to meet a certain need. And so when I think about marriage as a creation of God, as a design of God, then I wonder, what is it exactly he had in mind in terms of marriage? What was it he had specifically in mind for my marriage? And for it to break apart, what does that mean, therefore? Did he have a certain plan, a certain grand plan that in the scope of things, this marriage falling apart has impacted in certain ways? If I zoom out from myself, from my interests, my needs, my concerns, my pain, my struggles, my everything, when I zoom out from that, and begin to look at marriage as a unit that is designed by God, but that he needed me and this other party to work together so that the grand plan can be achieved, so that the grand purpose can be achieved for ourselves, for our children, for the society, for a global impact, and even for the kingdom of God. Now, when I think about it and go back to where I was at when my marriage was in a rocky place, I wonder whether I had that realization, because I don't think I did. I don't think I walked around or did what I needed to do as a wife and as a mother with that clarity in mind, that this marriage is bigger than me. There's a grander plan, that yes, there's a purpose for which my life was designed. But then there's a bigger plan, there's a bigger purpose for which the marriage unit is set, for which the family is designed. And that purpose can only be achieved when the two parties are working together under the leadership and the guidance of God. When I think about my marriage, I know for sure that I knew that God was in it, but I think I only thought about him in this way, that he's our provider, he's our protection, he's our healer, and all these other aspects of God. But maybe not necessarily at the grand scheme of things, to know that he's beyond all that. And in this case, he's designed something and he's now working through that marriage for a greater purpose for this generation and the generations to come. And I don't think I carried myself in that marriage with that realization, with that revelation. And maybe that's the question we should ask ourselves, that what is it that you consider when you think about your marriage? What do you think? Where do you place yourself, and where do you place God's grand plan in that marriage? Because if he created marriage, then there's something that he wants your marriage to do. When he brings the two powers together, because there's a big purpose in my life, there's a big purpose in the other party's life, when he brings those together and he's working, what exactly is he hoping to achieve? And by a marriage falling apart, by us walking in disobedience to God, what does that mean? So that when I think about the work that he hoped to do in our lives or through our lives as a marriage, as a family like that, what has been compromised? What has been aborted in terms of the grand plan of things, in terms of where God stands, what it is he had hoped to do? When we think about the covenant relationship of marriage, do we only perceive that as a relationship with the two of us? And maybe, though we appreciate God, we view him as one who will protect, one who will provide, one who will do all these things that we know he does. Is it possible that we walk selfishly and considering ourselves still as individuals in the marriage and forget that there's a bigger plan than ourselves? I wish I had a deep understanding of what God's goal for my marriage was, because then I believe I would have understood that he's working in me. He's teaching me how to forgive. He's teaching me how to be tolerant. He's teaching me how to be patient. And all those things that he does as to you as an individual, as he allows you to be shaped to that which he wants you to be, so that you can work together with this other party who is also being modeled after God, so that together as God works in you, he's able to accomplish the purpose for this marriage. So maybe a challenge I would pose to you is, do you know what the goal for your marriage is? Do you quite understand what it is God is doing? When you think about the covenant relationship of marriage, do you understand that it's beyond the two of you? That yes, as you hold each other accountable, you're both accountable to God, who has the blueprint of your marriage. And so he's the to-go-to person. He's the one you seek. He's the one you run to. He's the one you talk to. Think about the choices and decisions and actions that you take as you relate with the other party. When you choose kindness, for example, what does it do to your covenant relationship in marriage? On the other hand, when you choose a negative thing, cruelty, for example, what does that do to your marriage covenant? What is that relationship now looking like? And where is God at that point? Because at times we're so angry with each other and all we see is each other, to a point where, unfortunately, we begin to look at each other as the enemy to this marriage. Yet, all of us, the three parties, the couple and God, have one enemy in common. But then we are so engrossed with the emotional roller coaster and experiences and, and selfishness and everything that comes with it, we forget that we are not the enemy. He could use any of us. He just needs a door. We just need to be unforgiving. We just need to be whatever else that's not a godly thing. And he will use that as a door to come in and just mess us up. When we handle each other, do we have clarity about what the purpose for this particular marriage is? Do we have clarity on who the enemy is, so that we are positioned right, so that as we plead for a relationship in prayer, as we work towards it, because marriage is work, as we forgive, as we love each other, as we show concern and care, as we do those things, then we know that we are working together with God for this specific goal, for something bigger than ourselves, and we want to be part of that. As someone who lost their marriage, I would implore you to look at each other as an important piece of this union, because God needs the two of you. He needs to be part of it, but he needs the two of you to work. And when he's looking at you, he knows what he's doing. There's an amazing thing he needs to do with the two of you. But when we despise each other, we do not appreciate each other, when we take each other for granted, we lose the focus, we miss the mark. I would encourage you, look at each other with God's eyes. Allow yourself to be modeled by God, so that you can fit within that great plan. If you find this message helpful, please click on the like button. It helps me reach more people.